Hi friends, we're back at the ranch in Sonoyta, Arizona, and got some unboxing to do today. We've enjoyed our travels to Quartzsite and Joshua Tree National Park, the Salton Sea, Yuma, but glad to be back here at the ranch so we can get going again on our off-grid greenhouse project. Been waiting for the solar panels from Aferiy to run the power supply. They're here. That's what we're going to look at today. That's the Aferiy power plant we're going to run the greenhouse with, 3600 watt, the P310. And of course, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I've got the P310 up here. It's 10:30 and it's already at 100%. I was down to 60 last night when I shut it off. And we have light. Yesterday I was running that saw and the grinder, and I left the lights on all day. Even when I left, I forgot to turn them off, and it was down to 60% when I shut it off last night. And it's at 100%, compliments of the Aferiy 400 watt solar panels hanging up there, and I guess we should thank the sun. Maybe I shouldn't point my camera at the sun though. Let's see what we got in that box. Please enjoy my stories or whatever else might be on my mind today. Aferiy always double boxes their stuff to protect it in shipping, and when I realized that this one was actually triple boxed, I started laughing. But let's see what we got here. Technical details. Model AF-S400A1. Peak power 400 watts. The solar cells are monocrystalline. Protection level IP65 weatherproof. Cell efficiency is 22 to 23%. Oh, that's good. Voltage at max power 26.4 volts. Current at max power 15 amps. Open circuit voltage 32 volts. Operating temperature 10 degrees centigrade to 60 degrees centigrade. And like I said, it's double boxed. We got another box to get to before we can actually look at it. Aferiy. Aferiy. You know, get all the packing out. They're pretty light. I remember this before when I got the other Aferiy panels out there. They're light for what they are. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get my scale. I'll be right back. I have another company's 400 watt solar panels, and they weigh 44 pounds. And I can lift 44 pounds, but why would I have to if I had some Aferiy that weighed 28 pounds for 400 watts? Yeah, that makes it manageable. See what we got in here. We have the charge controller, which is built in right here. We have long cables. Let's just see how long they are. I'm guessing 6 feet, 2 meters. And that plugs into this cable, MC4 connectors for the solar, positive and negative. And this plug would plug into the power supply. That's all as it should be. Got an owner's manual. 400 watt solar panels. Aferiy, my power, my freeway. Well, I'm going to get all this stuff back up by the greenhouse and start working on making the greenhouse totally off grid. Good morning. Today is the day we're going to hook up the Aferiy P310 power supply to the solar panels and the greenhouse, but came up with a problem that I didn't anticipate or I didn't think of. I've been kind of a little slow on the uptake on this one, but you'll see our solution to that problem as we go through the video this morning. It was really windy yesterday. Solar panels that we're going to run the greenhouse with are just like these, which are the Aferiy 400 watt panels. 6 panels, 400 watts. They've been running my off-grid workshop here perfectly with the smaller Aferiy power supply inside. I'll put a link up here. I did a full review of these a few months ago. I'll put a link up here if you want to check them out more extensively. And I'll show you what we're doing with the other set for the greenhouse in a minute. The carrying handle, just like the suitcase, worked really good. So you may ask, why have I come in the shed instead of back up to the greenhouse for my 3600 watt portable power station that's going to run the off-grid greenhouse? That's a very good question, and I'll tell you why in a minute. We're going to turn this around, wheel it back into the corner, plug in the solar panels. Thought I might have to make an extension, but coming off of the panels themselves, it was just long enough. Actually, there is a little slack in there. That's good. And we're charging right now. I'm getting 123 watts. We're at 95%. So, why am I in the shed instead of the greenhouse? Let me show you. It finally occurred to my lizard brain that putting the power supply in the greenhouse over there was not a good idea. It finally occurred to me after we were hooking up some misters and sprinklers to water the vegetables that having the P310 Aferiy power supply inside of the greenhouse was not going to be a good idea. So we've changed the plan. I have the solar panels hanging on the fence here. And as I said, the cord was long enough to go up through that hole there. The sun was shining when I did this, and the shade of the building, which right now it's gotten a little cloudy, you can see is right there, but it only gets over to here. So they're always in the sun. They won't be in the late afternoon because this building here will shade them. But I think they're going to work fine. So the next step is to run an extension cord out there to the greenhouse and test the voltage to see if that long extension cord drops the voltage. So that's the next step. I now have the extension cord plugged into the Aferiy P310. Let's go up to the greenhouse and see what the meter says the voltage is at the other end of it. We've got the extension cord run from the power supply all the way over here through that hole, and the cord for the swamp cooler. We've had the power supply up here getting the swamp cooler worked. We had to get a new float valve for the water level in it. That took a while, but we got it off Amazon. We're going to have to secure the hose and the cable up so that when the monsoons come, the wash gets full of water. That'll be a project for another day, but today we're going to test and see if it actually will run it through the extension cord, which is inside the greenhouse. Sure enjoying having my tricycle to run back and forth. It's a long walk up here to the greenhouse. And I brought my meter so we can test the voltage. Well, we've got 118.123 volts. That's a good sign. For those of you who know how this works, don't be leaving me comments that the voltage is going to drop when we put power to it. I understand that. So the next test is to see if it actually runs it. The voltage will drop. But it's encouraging to know that we're getting voltage all the way up here. Gonna need two hands to plug this in. And we have power. I knew it would work. We've been testing this. What's coming out of the swamp cooler is around 60 to 65 degrees when it's hot and the sun is shining out there. Actually works better when the sun gets farther over that direction and the outside that gets wet and evaporates, it's called an evaporative cooler, is shaded because the sun helps evaporate it, which is energy put into the system instead of taken out of the system. But anyway, yeah, it's going to work. We have some timers to hook up to it. We have misters now, and we're waiting for more of the mister nozzles to put more misters over here. Got a little bit of stuff growing, just kind of experimenting so far. Hopefully a few more weeks or a month and a half, we'll have lots of green stuff in here. Len and I won't be here to see that. We'll be in the midst of lots and lots of green stuff in our own gardens because next week we are returning to Mexico, our retirement home in Ajijic, Mexico, on the north shore of Lake Chapala, Jalisco, Mexico. Yesterday we fixed the hose right there and staked it over there on the bank. The stick holding it up in the middle is just a joke. Because in the monsoon season, this wash fills with water. So we have the hose suspended and the electric cord wrapped around it. Well, some more of the plan. We have a rain catchment tank over here. I believe it's 1,200 gallons. And it's full of water. It collects all the water off of the main house. And eventually we'll plumb that over here to fill that white tank up on top of the hill and make the greenhouse not dependent upon that hose we have stretched across the wash. We have all the parts for that. It's just a matter of making it all happen. We're making progress in the greenhouse. Got a few jobs left to do. We have to plug up that hole down there so the rats don't get in. We've got the tank full of water up there. We've got it plumbed down. And it's now feeding the swamp cooler. There isn't enough pressure from up there on the hill to run the misters. We temporarily have this kind of a timer on the misters, but eventually, and that's why I gotta shorten up this white hose, and I haven't, because we're gonna plumb it into this 110 volt pump, which will also be running off of the P310 in the shed over there. And then we'll have a timer that turns the electricity on and off to run the pump, which will create the pressure for the misters inside. Anyway, we're making progress. We got the other side plumbed for the misters on the other side, and they're working really, really good. I just turned the swamp cooler on. We don't have the timer set up yet. What does that say, 110? It'll get down to about 85, which is a happy place for the plants. And it's still April here. We have some shade cloth coming for that side of the roof and the wall over there. So it's going to take some time to get it all sorted out, but this year's just kind of an experiment. Hopefully all of that will have some green plants in it, and these were just experiments to see about temperature and water and stuff. Anyway, real excited to see how the greenhouse is going later in the summer. But Lynn and I won't be here to see how the greenhouse is going later in the summer. We'll be in our home in Mexico where you don't need a greenhouse. Thanks for watching me today. Links below. The Aferiy P310, which runs my off-grid workshop, is on sale for $5.99, and there's a discount code. I'll put it on the screen here. I don't remember what it is. It's JC and some other letters, and $599, which is a really good deal for that one. The solar panels are working great to charge both of my Aferiy power supplies. I'm real happy with them. Hey, if you like me, give me one of those thumbs up. And please subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when I post next. Please share me with your friends on social media. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed what was on my mind today.